Let's go, Jaguar fans. You just watched your team jag so freaking hard as Trevor Lawrence here after a play action fake, after a first quarter of offensive ineptitude. Well, I want you to first see on this interception how bad the route spacing is. First off, this is just completely reckless, throwing this with a safety right there, okay? But honestly, this is just never good when the receivers are this close to one another, right? You get a pick, and actually Christian Kirk does a really good job making a difficult tackle right there. And next thing you know, boom, you're down by 10 points. Can Trevor get you out of this mess? Well, you do get a very good play call right here. Let's fake a pitch to the left and just find a way to get the football in your best player's hands. And that, of course, is Brian Thomas Jr. If anyone that's been paying attention to the Teal Monsters, it is clear that BTJ is that guy. You want to get the football in his hands as many possible times as you can. He makes a guy miss right there. That's some really good wide receiver play. And the key is getting SEC players on your team, okay? Trevor Lawrence from the SEC, BTJ from the SEC, Tank Bigsby fumbles his pitch or just bobbles it. And look at this cutback. This is not where the play is designed to go. He just reads this, that 96 is over pursued through this hole, and he just runs right through there. And, of course, the Jaguars eventually punch this in. And then you follow it up, little zone read action. You love to freaking see it. Normally with these split zones, it's the tight end going out into the flat for a route. But this time, it's Evan Engram as the lead blocker. This is a really sexy design where you fake like you're blocking the end, and then you let him be unblocked. And Rashad Gary's like, wait, Trevor Lawrence kept this? It's honestly really rare. And watch T-Law break this tackle and get into the end zone. And a lot of you probably aren't going to pick up the Clemson SEC joke. I do think the Tigers will eventually be the fourth set of Tigers in the Southeastern Conference. Man. Parker freaking Washington. Do you guys think he's actually good? Like, I've gone back and forth on if he actually is a legitimate big-time starter level NFL wide receiver. I've cooled off a little bit. I think he could be like a journeyman type of backup. But Trevor throws a really high ball. Parker gets up there and makes the catch. I will say he is a good returner. I want you to take a look at this rip right here from Trevor Lawrence. So the guy at the line of scrimmage just bails out here, and this is just a traditional four-man rush. You get some really good protection here, and actually just becomes a three-man rush where you're backing off one of your ends. And you'll see that a lot of people get open. You know, you have Evan Engram right here if you want it. But Trevor actually rips his football to BTJ in the window. And this is an absolute perfect throw, slightly behind him to protect him from a big hit or an interception. And BTJ makes another play. So we get to the 2nd and 9, and this is really simple but good quarterbacking from Trevor. You get a missed assignment here up front. The tackle goes out to block the end, but the end's bailing. The guard picks up the blitzing backer, which leaves this defensive tackle unblocked. And you'll see that the left tackle is just late. But because there is a quick answer to the blitz right here to Evan Engram, Trevor's able to get that football right there to him. It's really, really, really good football, and it just keeps, the defense honest. Yeah, Christian Kirk being out for the rest of the season is just going to be massive. Pre-snap, you get Kirk in the number 3 position in the slot going up against his safety. This is a matchup you want every single time, especially if it's man and there is a deep out, okay? And Trevor, while he's getting crushed, throws a really, really, really good football here to Kirk where it hits him in the chest and he's able to run after the catch. Really, really, really good stuff from Christian, and you pick up a first down. So, 2nd and 5, really good offense, right? Kirk had the matchup versus a safety in the slot. So now put your best player versus a safety. You get really good protection. And going back to his days at LSU, BTJ was so good at these top shelf, back of the end zone, over the middle touchdowns. That's exactly where Trevor puts it. Look at that throw. Really good throw. Really good catch. It should be a touchdown every single time. time. Did you see the route? Oh, you want to give BTJ a free release? Oh, man. A little shake and bake. Look at that. I feel really, really, really bad for Sheffield. Or, not Sheffield. Bullard, number 20. What a play. What a freaking play. 3rd and 6, and this is just a perfect description of Trevor Lawrence's season, okay? He's actually playing well up to this point. You've put up 17 points. The backup quarterback on the other team is playing, and you do something that is just unfreaking forgivable in the spot. You have a pretty decent pocket here, okay? But it eventually does break down, okay? You just cannot fumble the football here. You just cannot do this. And he does it, right? You lose the possession, and this is never a good spot to be in, and you're practically giving the game away when you make that type of mistake. You just can't have that happen. All right, this is where Trevor gets lucky, okay? Now, there is a level of unluckiness. BTJ did get hurt, by the way. Earlier on, his touchdown on the slant landed on his ribs awkwardly, so he really couldn't play towards the end of this game. And, of course, Christian Kirk has a hurt collarbone. All right, so pre-snap motion, the numbers do change here, and there is communication on who's picking up who. Okay, so it is man coverage. You just don't know pre-snap whose man is going to be who. The Packers do a good job of communicating this, and they're in the right alignment for this. So Trevor forces a slot fade. Now, it's really difficult for him to know that this is Jair Alexander because of the motion, but I am just never throwing the slot fade to Parker Washington with the DB in this spot, much less one of the best DBs in the NFL. Okay? He's got a good pocket here as well. I'm just never throwing this ball up. And you'll see before I actually show you the result of this, there were better options on this play. Okay? This dig is a better option on this play. But throws his football up, and Alexander almost picks it to end the game right then and there. Okay, just not a good decision. The game-tying touchdown. He gets lucky again, but I also understand that at this juncture, BTJ hurt, obviously Christian Kirk being hurt, your two best options. Gabe Davis isn't out there because you can't trust him, and this is just a nasty route by Evan Engram, a little basketball crossover to get this DB off balance. Now, the hard part about this is Trevor sees that Evan Engram has a step, but once again, Alexander, one of the best DBs in the NFL, he sees that the ball is not going to this out to Washington, and he's able to peel off of it to get back into the coverage. This is not a terrible throw. I thought it was going to be worse than what I initially thought, and he throws his football up to Evan Engram. That's a fine throw if you ask me. It really is. And more importantly, this is a better catch. Now, I've seen some people say Trevor got lucky that it wasn't picked or whatever. I'm fine. If you see the step and there's all your other playmakers are hurt, let the best player on the field decide it. And he did, and Evan Engram made one hell of a grab. So, what do we make of this, Jaguars fans? This was another rough Trevor game. Obviously, the fumble was really bad, but there were a lot of other throws that we didn't get to that I felt were on the field to have been made. And part of it is also coaching, right? Matt LaFleur, backup quarterback, what does he do? Well, he saves this fancy Jaden Reed wheelish route for the end. And this is what decided the game. So, Jaguars fans, it just comes down to this. Simply put, there's better coaches and just a better team on the other sideline, and they made the winning plays, and you didn't. And that's why the Jags are always jagging off. So let me know what you guys think. It's getting worse by the day. It is Power Hour NFL. Boom! On the Trevor scale, I'd give this game like a C. And tonight we are doing some grilled chicken. Let's go.